Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Cattle Call. I'm so excited and happy to have this next guest. She's just absolutely gorgeous, and she's a dedicated rodeo athlete that's moved across the country because she is dedicated so much to this sport. She is someone I adore, and I'm so excited for everyone to get to know more about her. I'd like you guys to welcome Chezni Woods to Cattle Call.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm so excited.
I said I manifested you in the first episode because I said your name and I was like, I don't even know if this girl's going to come on, but you know what? She's going to come on. I want her to come on. And then anyway,
I am.
Well, I followed you for a few years on social media. Absolutely loved your personality. Thought you was beautiful, but like I loved your dedication to rodeo. And I had no idea, the transitions you've made and different things. So that's what I want to get into today. How old are you?
I'm 20.
20.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you in college at the moment? Are you a sophomore?
I'm a sophomore this year.
Sophomore, okay.
Yep, this is my second year at this school.
And so when did you know that rodeo was like what you wanted to do? And this is just an introduction, you don't have to get heavy into it. I just want to know what age were you when you thought, gosh, I love this?
I started out doing like the Western pleasure stuff and 4-H and all of that. And then when I was in about 5th grade, I heard that junior high rodeo was a thing. And I was like, I want to go do that. That sounds like so much fun. And my older sister was in high school rodeo at the time. And then we kind of started selling all of our show horses and buying fast horses. And then from there, I started junior high rodeo, and I was just running barrels at the time. And then I realized that I wanted to win the all around. And to win the all around, you have to be doing all around events.
Yeah.
And then I started tying goats and roping. And from there on out, it just kept going. As soon as I started doing it, I couldn't stop doing it.
Yeah. So you got a competitive like nature about you already. Yeah.
I wanted to go fast.
Yeah. So you didn't do any sports like as far as in school, it was more at, the rodeo.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was always just rodeo and nothing else.
What are all the events that you do? Can you tell? Because the audience for the podcast is, reaches a ton of people around the world. Yeah. So I wanted, I always want everybody to kind of know more about who you are and what this is about. And so what is all the events you do in rodeo? Yeah.
So as of this moment right now, I'm not running barrels just because of my horse situation, but I run barrels, goat tying, breakaway roping, and I do team rope, but I don't currently have the horses for that as of right now. And so as of right now in college rodeo, it is breakaway and goats.
Okay. And so when you say team roping, is that what you say? Is it another female? Is it a guy?
It kind of changes. You get to choose your partners. Like the second semester of my freshman year last year, I was heeling with one of my girlfriends from Montana, and that didn't go exactly to plan, and I wasn't working how I wanted to, so I kind of backed off on that because I am a header, but I currently don't have a head horse, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're a full-time student?
Yes.
And so is that online or are you in class?
We are required to have one in-person class, and so I have one in-person class and everything else is online, so I only go into class 2 times a week for an hour. So I'm barely there, and when I skip it, I'm barely there, but everything else is online.
And then you go to the pens and like practice and things like that?
Yep. We got practice 4 days a week. We do all of the events every day. Rough stock is 2 times a week, so the boys get to practice twice a week. But we rope calves every day, we team rope every day, we tie goats every day, and I love it because I was not a healer, but my coach needed another healer on the team, so he was like, you got a heel horse, you should probably figure out how to heal.
So you came from Idaho originally.
Yes.
So where are you going to college? Tell everybody where you're going to college.
I'm going to New Mexico State University. This is my second year. And
so how did that come about? Like, how did you get from there to there?
I was looking at so many different schools, and I looked at a lot of great schools, a lot around here, a lot up north, but one of my girlfriends always kept telling me that when you find the school you want and you want to go there, you will know. And when I flew down to New Mexico, the coach had reached out to me and he was like, just come see it, because his wife is also involved in social media and stuff. And he was like, I've seen some of your videos, just come see it. And I was like, I don't want to go to New Mexico. Like, that's not the place I want to live. I went down, I saw it, and I was like, yep, this is where I'm going. It was no questions asked. It was...
How was your parents when you decided?
Oh, man. My dad went down with me, and my mom stayed home, and we get down there, and my dad's just... I mean, he was a little freaked out because we're right on the border, and there's a lot of scary stuff that happens down there, but when I told him I was signing, he was like, okay, we're going to figure it out. Like,
yeah. Why'd your mom stay behind? Was she...
She had something going on.
Okay, I just thought maybe she was sad.
No.
Like, I can't do this. Okay, I don't want to cry.
I think in the back of her head, she thought I was going to come down and hate it and then just fly back home.
Okay.
But in my head, it was the first day. Next day, I wake up and I'm like, I'm going to go sign with the coach. This is where I'm supposed to be.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you knew that because a lot of young people go, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. And that you knew, you know, and that you got a good support system. So, what are the struggles of like that high intensity type of stuff in college? Like, I know there's a lot of probably, you know, you got your schoolwork, you've got your social media, you're just a female that's young and trying to figure it all out. But what kind of struggles within a team and all that, you know?
We've got about 50 kids on our team, so it's not like a huge team, but I mean, there's enough on there where you do have great friends and you make your great connections, and there's obviously so many amazing things that come with it. But again, being on any sort of team, there's going to be problems, there's going to be struggles. I mean, you're around these kids every single day. I've made some of my greatest life connections. Everyone says you meet your besties in college, and I do truly believe that I have met some of my besties in college.
Yeah.
But I mean, when it comes, I'm moving across the country with 2 trucks, a trailer, a dog, and 3 horses. There's always something that comes with it. I mean, my truck breaks down going to any rodeo, basically, and I have had to figure it out basically every time by myself.
Yeah.
And
so you're doing all the maintenance on the truck?
Basically.
Okay.
Basically. I leave it parked at my house, and then I just drive my little Toyota Tacoma around.
Yeah.
I just hope and pray, but...
Where are the rodeos there? Is it in those local areas, or do you have to travel?
So college rodeo is split up into regions, and I'm in the Grand Canyon region, so we're New Mexico and Arizona. A lot of ours are, I mean, the farthest we go is 4 hours to not Douglas. I don't even really know where the farthest one is we go. I think the farthest we drive is like 5 hours.
But I mean, it's beautiful area because I've been through all that area, New Mexico and Arizona and Nevada.
It's very deserty. And if you don't like the desert, you're not going to like it out there.
But it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
The landscape is beautiful. So I'm sure the rodeo areas are. So
Yes.
what are some of the, like the one event that you go, this is my event. Like I am the badass in this, and this is me, and nobody else move out of the way.
It changes up, honestly. I've always been a die-hard goat tire, but I don't know. It's kind of changing, honestly. The older I get, I mean, I know I'm still young and stuff, but my body is slowly not being able to hold up to the goat tying anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not be able to see it, but I can feel it. And I just...
Is it in when you get off your horse and I've seen you on your, your social media where you're on that. What is that machine?
That's called a horse saber.
Okay.
So if you run your horse too many times, they're going to end up doing things they shouldn't do.
Absolutely. But I've seen you on that machine over and over, and I'm like, that must be a workout in itself.
Yeah.
And then how you hang on the side of the saddle and hang one leg down.
Yes.
You're long-legged. I'm long-legged. So I'm like, I relate, man. My dragging a foot or something.
And everybody always thinks that you got these long legs, so it's going to make you this great goat tire, which, I mean, there are definitely some long-legged good ones out there, but these little short girls are so catty and quick that it's hard to keep up with them sometimes.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't know. I've been becoming more of a breakaway roper the more that I start figuring it out and putting my heart into it a little bit more. It's kind of always just been my background one.
I've watched that, and I'm like, I have really nothing. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But I know a couple girls that I've watched, and I don't know who they are, but they do a couple loops before they throw it towards the calf. I don't know what all the lingo is on that, how y'all talk about all that now. But I've noticed you do like one loop and you've got the calf.
It's all about time. You got to be quick.
That's right. That's right. So is that the goal, like one big loop and then Go.
It kind of depends, because sometimes you get to rodeos where the barrier is a lot longer, so you got to let the calf, meaning you got to let the calf out a lot longer so that the neck rope can break off before you break the barrier in front of your horse.
Right.
So some of them are a lot longer where you're going to need to take a few extra swings to get to your calf, but some of them, like the stockyards, that's there's like no barrier there, so you can just nod ride. And
so is that the dimensions of the arena? It makes the difference on how they do that stuff?
It kind of changes, because we've had super long arenas at college rodeos that the barrier's super long or the barrier's super short. Honestly, it just kind of depends whatever the person's putting on the rodeo wants to do.
Okay. And the reason why I kind of noticed that about the bigger, a couple loops and then throw it, to get the calf or whatever, like, because when I was in high school, I was an athlete, and I always, when I jumped hurdles, I had to go 3 steps, jump, 3 steps, jump. Some people would, do 4 steps in between the hurdles and then jump. And you always needed to do 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, it's all about the timing.
Yeah.
And I noticed how you, in several of your, your videos, it was just one big, and I was like, dang, I bet her time. So what is some of your best time for that event?
I mean, it kind of depends on what the score is, honestly, because some rodeos of 3 will win it, and some rodeos of 3 won't even be in the top 50. Like, it just kind of depends on where you go. But I mean, on a short score, I've roped a 2-1. I mean, a 2-0, and I was a 1-9 once, but I don't even really consider that because it was a terrible loop.
Yeah.
I don't know. Back up home, we honestly, like, a lot of our scores are long. Like, coming down to college was the first time that I've ever really experienced, like, being able to nod and go.
Yeah.
Because back home, like, I mean, high school rodeos, they were always really long. But
breaking barriers, have you on that stuff, is that tough when you first start? Is
it's all about, I mean, honestly, timing. Like, last weekend at the college rodeo, I would have won a good chunk of money if I wouldn't have broke out. But I mean, a lot of people say that, and then you look back at the video and they're just tearing it down. But I mean, that is another big thing about learning breakaway roping, and any roping event is figuring out the barrier.
Mm-hmm.
And some people think you just go out there and rope the calf, but your calf is left and the neck rope is still around him, and you're still in the back of the box and it's about to break off the calf. You're already so far behind him that you got a lot of catching up to do. It's all timing, knowing how your calf is going to start, knowing how your horse starts, making sure your horse is going to start off your hand. Like, there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. Well, see, that's interesting to me because I like watching all you girls do all that, but I don't have a clue about all that.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, it was either the poles. Mm-hmm. People would go through the poles. They would run down tie a goat, but it wasn't like you guys are doing it now, or of course, barrel racing.
Yeah.
So
it's all changed so much.
Everything is so different, and even the bull riding now with the teams and things like that. That is all shifted. So that's why I ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't think other people know either that's been out of that world.
Yeah.
Watching it from old school me to now.
Yeah.
So, to have this life, like to be a college, rodeo athlete, what type of personality or lifestyle changes, whatever it is, do you have to be dedicated to this type of stuff? So people that don't know about this life, what kind of personality would someone have to fully, like, say, go as far as you can go in this type of events? Like, what do they got to have?
I think self-discipline is definitely one of the biggest things, because you are doing so much for yourself. A lot of other sports, like, yes, I'm on a team, but you still bring your own horses, you still drive your own trailer, you do all this own stuff by yourself. But the other thing I think is confidence. I mean, not everybody's got the big rig and the big truck and trailer. Everybody's got a different setup, and still being able to go to the rodeos and still be confident in what you can do. That is something that I still am trying so hard to truly learn. And also, along with, like, all my social media, I get to these rodeos and people are like, oh, I wonder how she's gonna rope, when in reality, I've been doing it for as long as you guys have, and I've been doing the same thing, and I've been going to all the clinics, and I'm college rodeo, and I've dumped so much time and effort into this, but I just happen to post it on all social medias. So confidence definitely is a huge part.
because all eyes are on you when you have more people. Do you feel that?
Yes.
Do you feel like when you're at the rodeo, you're like, oh crap.
Yes, I feel
People
that.
probably know me on social media, so I have more of, and here's Chezni Woods. And everybody's like, ooh.
And somehow a lot of announcers from back home, like for these little amateur associations I used to do, they would all somehow find out that I was TikTok famous. And sometimes I still wonder how some of them found out, because I wouldn't, like when you put your announcer cards, which you would write stuff down on an announcer's card, so what they would announce at the rodeos and stuff. And I would never put TikTok star on there. I was like, I get to the rodeos and I am there to rodeo. Like I keep my social media and my rodeo separate enough where they don't affect each other, but also that is what my social media is, you know? And I do feel like I could put it more into my TikToks, but that confidence is huge going in a rodeo no matter what, even if you don't do the social media stuff, because people are so judgmental, and especially in this world. It's turning into such a money sport and such a money event that if you're not confident in your abilities and what you can do, it's going to be hard.
So when you are in college and you're going to these events, is that part of your tuition? Is the, paying the entry fees for things like this, or is this just college rodeo and
so
that's part of your tuition pay?
Yeah, so when it comes to college rodeo, and when I was looking around, a bunch of schools were offering me like very good amounts of money that I could have everything paid for, from my feed to my housing to my gas to everything, but I didn't necessarily like those schools. The school I'm at, I still am on a scholarship. It might not be as great as all the other ones, but it does pay for a lot of my stuff, and I mean, it's where I want to be. So I mean, no dollar amount can really put that on that.
Is there anybody that you go to these rodeos, you don't have to name their name, but do you go, oh, that's the girl I gotta beat?
Oh, yeah. All the time. I'm always looking up to somebody. You can't ever be too good or good enough in the rodeo world. Like, I believe in my heart that I rope good and I tie goats good. I mean, not everybody else might believe that, but I'm still always going to get to the college rodeos and be like, yeah, wish I could rope like her. Wish I could do that. And every once in a while I'll pop out and win the rodeo, but it hasn't happened yet this year.
Well, because I know you'd always, in high school and college, being an athlete, you size up the other team. It's just human nature when you're competitive and like, I heard about that one, or oh crap, I went and watched her and she's like good, and like I gotta stuff her tonight or stick to her, and so I figured it was like that for you guys too. Being
around, you're making the champions your friends is one of the best things you can do for you. Whoever you're surrounded by, like, even getting to college back home, I was like one of the only rodeo kids in the little town that I lived in, and then getting down here and we're all roping together every day, we're hanging out every day, we're doing all these things together, we're traveling together. Guys all just kind of rub off of each other, and it's one of the best things.
Have you ever heard you should be in rooms with people that are smarter than you or know more than you? That way you could learn. And I think if you have that mindset, like you just said, that's a good mindset to have, because I know everybody's competitive. It's just going to be in this world, like especially in rodeo or anything. But like, I think when you can look at somebody else and go, I want to be their friend, I want to learn what they're learning, like, how did they do this? I wonder if they'd help me. That type of thing. So, okay, you discussed a little bit about social media. So, but you stopped for a while. Can you discuss with us why you stopped social media? What was going on for you to do that?
It was when I first got to my freshman year of school last year. I moved down, and I was posting really heavy when I first moved down to New Mexico because school hadn't really started yet. But when school started back up and everybody started calling me the TikTok star and calling me TikTok on the team, I realized that I did not want to be the TikTok girl. I was there to rodeo, I was there to rope, I was there to tie goats. Like, it comes off to a lot of people that if you do social media, whatever you're posting, you're not doing it very good. Like, whatever you're posting it about, you're not doing very good at it. Like, I've had a lot of people tell me, oh, you actually rope good. I didn't know that. I thought you were just a TikTok girl.
It's a stigma.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my team was really awesome. Like, there was not one person where I was like, oh my gosh, this person's bullying me because I'm on TikTok. But it was just always the little things that I was like, you know what? I'm here to rodeo. I'm going to drop social media. And I was still posting a little bit, keeping my brand deals and stuff, but But then I kind of turned around and I realized I'm living a really cool life right now that I'm sure a lot of people would like to see. And I've still been working really hard to really get consistent with it and really push the content out there that I know I would want to see as a girl in high school looking to go college rodeo. But it's a lot of work.
Because I feel like, you guys that have the bigger platforms, there is a responsibility. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a responsibility
For sure.
to be a role model, I guess, for people to look to. It's because looking at you guys and people not knowing about that world, you're probably got, just like this podcast is going, all over.
Yeah.
There's tons of people that's watching you from everywhere and they're like, I want to be like her, or, so I feel like that's a big responsibility if you think of it like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think, because having a daughter in social media, I'm always not about you have to be seen, but I'm always like, baby girl, you got to work, and that's making you a living.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's about, whether you hate this at this moment, or you're not having a good day, or you're on your period, or you're moody, or you're having this life event that's happening and you don't want nobody else to know about it, but then you still have brands that you need to post. So it's, there is a lot of pressure behind the scenes that people don't see.
Yes.
So I can just imagine all that you're dealing with, being a freshman, new to school, new to the area. These people are all new and all that. Do you get people on the internet like saying anything rude about that type of stuff, like rodeo and you doing social media at the same time?
Not exactly. Last year, I felt that I was always having to post my runs and my, like when I was Tygo to practice or when we'd rope at practice, I felt like I'd always have to post that to prove to people, like, hey, I actually know what I'm doing here. Like, I'm not just some TikTok girl blasting my face all over social media. But I mean, one day my coach sat me down and he's like, you got to quit caring about the videos. You gotta rope. And from that, and then that was what kind of made me like, okay, I'm really not posting anymore because he's right. I know he's right. My coach is a very smart man, and I know he's right. So I kind of backed off a little bit and kind of put my head down and started grinding a little more. And when it starts coming back together, I want to post these videos because I'm like, I did good there. Like, that is a good video. I want to post that video instead of having to post them to prove to people.
Right.
I always felt last year I was having to prove to the world that I should be on this team. That was always what I felt.
But I think sometimes we put that pressure on ourselves. So you're putting it on yourself when you don't need to, because probably, like when I look at you, I know I'm a mom and I'm like, wow, she's doing awesome, she's doing her thing. And I think probably people that look up to you or follow you, unless they're just idiots and just being there to be mean or whatever. But I think that's in our own heads a lot of times, that's the monster within. You're fighting it all the time, and that's where I feel like, having the confidence in who you are, knowing your worth is very important. So when you go, you're like, I know who I am, and you know what? I don't care or whatever,
It's a very strong, it's a hard thing to learn.
Yeah.
It's still.
And you're young, so you'll figure it out as you get older, and you figure out the older you get. And I don't know if this encourages girls or not, but you go, I don't give a dang.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap about what anybody else is thinking. I'm doing me, and I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's all that matters. So I wish you girls could learn that quicker, but I know it's, trial and error. Okay, I want to ask you about your horse. You have a horse named Lux, or a story about Lux.
Yes.
So can you tell the audience, like, what's up with Lux?
Yes. So that was like my main horse that pretty much everyone on TikTok knew about. I was running barrels on her. Things were going great. I kind of bought her as a rebuild, meaning that she had some problems, and I worked with her for a long time through my junior and senior year of high school, and she was kind of a little bit of a nut job, but when I could get all the stars aligned, we'd go out and win the dang thing. And a week before I moved down to college, I went out to her pen, and she was just laying flat on her back, and I was like, okay, great, my horse is dead. And she was not dead. I got her to stand up. She immediately collapsed over again. Couldn't get her in a trailer. She ended up going she stood up on her hind feet, went back, hit her head on the foundation of my barn. And I'm like, okay, this is a mess. Her legs are just completely like, she can't bend her legs like nothing. Can't walk, can't do anything. Moment she'd go to walk, she'd just fall over. We finally got her to the vet. I was home alone, called some of my friends' parents. They came and helped me. I'm just a wreck. Get her there. She stays there for a few days. We end up sending her up to a different vet, and we spent a lot of vet bill money on her. And it kind of got to the point where I sat down with my parents, and they're like, I don't really know what else we should be doing at this point, because we've spent all this money on her. We've done everything that, and all the comments on TikTok, I posted one video of her, and everyone in the comments thinks they know what's wrong with her, and they think they already know all the tests and all the money we've spent on her. And everybody's saying it's EPM, obviously it's EPM. And I'm like, you didn't think we tested for that 3 times? Yeah. We thought, everybody thought it was EPM. It's not EPM. It's really interesting though, because I ended up having to leave her home, and I came down to college with no barrel horse. And that's like kind of part of the reason I think of why I ended up at college, was because I had this nice barrel horse. And I ended up not even getting able to bring her or run barrels. I ended up jumping on one of my friend's horses and running her. But I left her home for a little bit, and then she got better. And I brought her back down to school, and I tried to run her at the college rodeos, and it was just a disaster. And I wanted to talk about this because I think it's one of the biggest learning curves in rodeo I've ever had to experience, is because I dropped all of this money on her. I got her back to health. She was healthy, and she was running again. But she's just not the same horse. She's neurologically all messed up. She'll walk into a wall. She can't see straight. She walks around with her head crooked.
What happened? What was?
We don't know. We still never know. We do think it has something to relate to her feed. The only reason we think that has something to do with her feed is because I left her home again this summer because nothing was working out. And one of the horses in her pen did the same exact thing. But we fed our feed forever. And it's our hay, and it's our pasture. And so I don't know. It's kind of,
was there some type of sweet feed or something?
They were just on hay. They've always just been on hay. But I don't know. I left her home, and I've been running my calf horse and barrels and jumping on other horses. But going through all of that was just, and then everybody on social media asking me where she was, asking for all the details, asking what happened. And that was the moment that I realized I probably shouldn't have never posted it on social media, because I don't really owe anyone an explanation of what happened. I don't owe to tell all these people all the tests we've done on her and everything I've been through with this horse trying to get her back to normal. But it's at the point where I know she's neurologically not correct. Like, you can just look at her and watch her walk around, and she'll never be back to the same horse. Someday, my theory is someday a new disease will come out, and it is all going to point right at what happened to her.
Yeah.
But I don't need to get into
the hay, that there was something that, was bailed up that had grown. That
I don't know.
Was not.
I don't know.
I mean, you just really don't know.
There's a lot of different animal feces out there that can cause a lot of things to horses. Like possum poop is terrible, and it can make them go crazy.
Really? Oh, wow.
And there's a lot of different things, but it's kind of been an answerless situation with her. And it can get to the point where you put so much effort and money into a single horse, where I'm like, I've got these other ones I need to be focusing on. She's at home living her best life. She continues to have her weird episodes where it hasn't been as bad as that first one, but a main barrel horse is just living at home all by herself.
Well, that's all right then. At least she's alive, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
That's good. Well, sometimes you don't even have to. Do you ever just not look at any comments and just post and never go look at anything, or do you have to look?
I pretty much look. I look at all of them. And it's not necessarily the comments that get me. I mean, sometimes they definitely do get me. But most of the ones that are just dumb, like when I post a goat tying video and people are commenting on there, you're hurting the goat, you're killing the goat. I'm like, well, I came to college for this, so I moved across the country for this.
Yes, that's what I would think, because a lot of people have that mentality, and they don't really realize, I don't think, that these livestock get treated very, very well.
Yeah.
Or that the ones that my grandfather had, and, he was a stock contractor, but that they get fed and like babied. And
yes, they are treated very well.
Checking them out, and they're and a lot of horses are getting massages. And,
oh, the horses, those things are treated like princesses.
Yes.
I have no idea.
And I don't think people get it. I remember being at the PBR last year in Fort Worth here, and somebody said the balls were behind us. A guy was telling, he acted like he knew everything and was telling the people he was with that bull's balls was tied up and that's why he was bucking. And I wanted to just like, what?
You know how many people
Are you
actually believe
kidding
that?
me?
I have actually heard that before. People really
They
think that.
think that the bulls, the reason why they're bucking is because of their balls. And I'm like, no, people, that is not it.
No,
They
it's
have
not
a
it.
flank rope on them. I don't know if people, my mom had a Shetland
Mm-hmm.
when she was growing up, and I was around some Shetlands,
Yeah.
and you could just
Touch.
poke the back part of the flank area, and they would want to buck and be crazy.
Yeah.
Like there is an area of the animal that makes them want to
Yes.
jump. It's like a funny bone, I
Yes.
guess you would say,
Yeah.
you know.
It's a very sensitive spot.
Yeah.
Even on horses, some of them roping on them, you can't move your feet back at all, or they'll just get to bucking.
Well, probably. Well, do you wear your spurs?
Yeah, and for
So,
one of my horses, yeah.
yeah. What do you think is the best? I wanted to know this personally, so this is why I wanted to ask it. And you may or may not, but what kind of horse is the best type of barrel racing horse? Or what kind of horse? Do you have to change between each? Like, I got to have a horse for the goat tying. I got to have a horse for roping. I think you do for roping, right? Because they get geared to stopping when it's time to stop, or they're just made that way once you start training them. But,
Yeah.
So how many different horses do you think you have to have, and what kind of horse is the best?
All of my horses are all quarter horses. I've only ever had quarter horses. I've had a paint once. That didn't go very well. But I've got a horse for every event right now except for the barrels. I've got, and I mean, it's not necessarily the breed of horse or whatever, because I've seen some paints out there that are just dirty, salty, and just cool and just...
Yeah.
Start over. I'm rambling. I don't know what I'm saying.
You're fine. So let me ask you this. If it wasn't rodeo, what would Chezni be doing?
Nothing.
You don't think?
I honestly have no idea what I would do.
know.
This is what I want to do. This is all I've ever wanted to do. I mean, go fast, rope calves, and tie goats.
So what do you want to do, like in 5 years from now? Like, what's the goal?
Well, to be a trophy wife would be great, but if that doesn't work out, I don't know. I'm going to school for business right now. I've got 2 more years, and after that, I mean, I've always wanted to open a boutique, but I don't know if I have the fashion for that anymore. I used to be like really cute and like super into fashion a few years ago, and I'd have like 6 rings on every finger and like 20 necklaces on, but I just kind of fell off of that the more that I started rodeo, and then the less time I have to put all my stuff on and to pick an outfit and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Everybody always asks what I'm going to do with my life, and I just don't know.
Well, you're going to the NFR this year. When you go to you've been how many years?
Twice.
Twice.
Mm-hmm.
When you go, what's on your mind? Cowboys, the rodeo, or fashion, or all three? Like, what is on your mind?
Well, last year the only thing that was on my mind was the party bus. We lived on the party bus last year.
Yeah.
I guess that's literally all we
What's the
did.
party bus?
They're just party buses in Vegas. You just get on them and they drive you around all night. That is all we did last year.
Just with your buddy?
Yeah, I was just talking to Maddie. Maddie went with me last year, and I was like, dude, we got to do something else than the party bus this year. That is all we did.
That is funny. Oh
We went to Cowboy Christmas for 30 minutes before they closed for the entire 10 days.
So do you have brands you need to work with while you're there?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Last year I didn't. I chose not to do much brand stuff while I was there because I just wanted to go have fun and do whatever. But this year I'm going to take advantage of that and really work with some of my brands.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, you should definitely take advantage because there's a lot of good opportunities.
Yes.
And I want you to stop by. I'm going to be doing interviews at a booth.
Okay.
Mini interviews. So I want you to stop by.
Okay.
We'll get all that set up. I have other people stopping by, but I want
That's
you
exciting.
to stop by too. Yeah, I think it's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the noise,
Oh.
but because it's supposed to be really busy. This is my first NFR, and I know the booths get, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to bring, people to a booth and help their brand.
Yeah.
That's on my mind always, is to help other people. But
Yeah.
I also bring in people that people want to see,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be mostly on TikTok. I'll be bringing, the mini interviews with each person onto TikTok.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to do a big to-do on YouTube of like my experience.
Yeah.
And I've been asked to
so
sit
fun.
down at the NFR and sit down with a podcast because they asked me to come on. I'm like, what the heck?
Oh, that's exciting.
I was like, what? So when I'm in Vegas, I'm supposed to be on a podcast. So
That's very exciting. So are you going to podcast them while they're podcasting
I don't
you?
know. I'll probably ask her questions as she's asking me. Okay. Is there a boy in your life? Is there a guy that... No?
No, none.
None?
None.
Want that right now, though? Are you too focused on school and things like that? Or is it just not the right one?
Every time I think that I have found something that I do want to pursue and date, I've only dated 2 guys in my life, and every time I do that, I realize that I don't want to be dating anyone right now. Not anything for any reason other than the fact that I am so busy.
Yeah.
And it is so hard to be able to share my time with someone else, along with the fact that I haven't really found anyone that I'm willing to share that time with, you know? Like, you can come in here and there, but...
Take your time.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, take your time, enjoy all this that you can.
Yeah.
Live your life, do your thing, have fun, but don't, I wouldn't get serious right now.
No, my parents didn't get married until they were 32. Don't kill me, Mom, if I'm wrong about that. But I don't know. And I see how happy they are. And she tells me about all these fun memories that she got to live. And she's always telling me, stay single in your 20s. But I mean, I love being with someone. I really, in the end, I want a boyfriend and I want a man.
Yeah.
But I'm very content by myself. I don't feel like I need anyone with me.
I think, too, when you guys are in your 20s, the boys are playing, too.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not serious. They're not mature.
Yep.
So I think when you get towards the end of your 20s and you find a guy that might be in his early 30s, that's probably the guy that's going to be mature and ready to settle down. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I can wait that long, though.
Well, I didn't say not. You got to have fun during that time.
Yeah.
But, and I don't mean to go have sex with everybody, but I'm saying have fun, enjoy your life. You know, don't make it so serious. But because the boys aren't going to be that serious, you know what I mean? They're playing.
They'll make you think that they're.
Oh yeah, don't fall for that. I'm at the first of the year. We're going to sit down with several girls, like 6 to 8 girls, and have like a New Year's thing on the podcast. You need to come back and like sit down with the girls. We're going to talk all about relationships and being like a new you in the new year, things like that. So
that's going to be
good. To come on.
That's going to be
and
good.
We'll talk about relationships and guys, because I feel like that is kind of my bread and butter. I know a lot about that.
Yeah.
And I could help these girls.
Well, I need your help. I will take all the relationship advice.
So on social media, we're gonna play a little game in just a sec. But is there anything about social media that you want people to know, like maybe a misconception about you, that it's like a repetitive thing? Is it the rodeo thing, like, oh, she's this, she's that, or has there been a repetitive thing that maybe people have thought about you, or they say to you over and over and over, and you have, like, I want to say this to you guys. What would that be?
Well, I think it goes for a lot of people. I mean, basically anyone that puts their rodeo, whatever related life on social media, you're always going to get called Buckle Bunny. And that doesn't really bother me anymore, because I know I'm not. And what even is Buckle Bunny? That term is thrown around so much these days. It's like,
back in my day, what a Buckle Bunny meant was a girl who dresses hoary. I mean,
yeah.
Not glitz and glam or what. She dressed really slutty.
Yeah.
Hung out around the shoots.
Yeah.
And tried to get that guy
tried to wear their buckles. Yeah. I mean, that's all it really is. And I think people throw around that term so much these days that I'm like, do you even know what it is?
Yeah. Like, that is what a Buckle Bunny is, that's the term that was used back in my day. I think that's probably where it all come from.
Yeah.
And it is a derogatory type thing.
Yeah.
And I think girls, like to dress pretty and cute at rodeos if they're not in it. I think
if I'm not in it, I'm dressing cute.
Yeah, like even when you guys are barrel racing, I always admired the girls with the long hairs flowing with the cowboy hat on, and she's got a sparkly shirt and she's kicking ass, out there around the barrels. But I don't know if that's even a thing anymore. I mean, I'm sure there's still them girls.
Yeah, there will always be those girls, but
yeah.
I don't know. The other thing that kind of comes with it all is I know I've kind of talked a little bit about it, but
what is it about social media, like misconceptions you think that people need to know about you?
Whenever I'm at the school or at practice, right before I'm saddling horses or something, and I got a video a TikTok. I think a lot of people will, or if I'm out in public and I'm videoing a TikTok, automatically, even myself, if I didn't do social media, I'd immediately look at that and be like, oh my gosh, this girl's making a TikTok. Like, I think a lot of people look at it like, oh, she's so self-centered, she's taking a video of herself doing this, or she's got a video of herself saddling her horse or whatever. When you got to kind of turn around and look at it from my angle, like, this is my full-time job. I would never choose to put myself in front of 700,000 followers every single day, a video of me cleaning my stalls. I would never do that. But the fact that it is something that I do and I have to do, and I really do love doing it, but I wouldn't just wake up one morning and be like, I'm going to go saddle my horse in front of 700,000 people and have them watch me. You know? But, and I think a lot of people think, oh, well, I'd never do that. I would never post, like one video I posted in the goat tying where I ran out there and I ate shit and I rolled and I tumbled and my neck was all backwards.
What is it? Is that called a
scorpion?
Scorpion?
Yeah, that was bad. I posted that one, and that's like the first wreck I've ever really posted on there. And
I think that's great.
I know. I was honestly expecting so many hate comments, and I got on there, and I mean, everybody was like, "Are you okay?"
I know.
I'm like, no, I'm not really okay.
Hey, I think it's good to post all of it.
Yeah.
I really do. Because to me, that's endearing.
Yeah, it's part of it.
Yeah, you don't have to be
perfect.
Real. Yeah, you don't have to be perfect. Well, I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and then I want you to tell, like, the viewers and the listeners, like, what that means. Because there's some, I guess, lingo. Is there any new lingo in New Mexico you've picked up or learned there that's completely different from everybody coming from all over, that everybody kind of adapts to saying those certain things?
Well, I don't know if green chili is a lingo, but everybody eats green chili in New Mexico. You get green chili on everything. You go to breakfast, you get green chili on it.
No.
Everywhere. You get green chili on everything, and I've never experienced that until New Mexico.
You eat green chili on yours?
It's a little hot for me.
Yeah.
I'm built like they are.
Yeah.
They can take some heat. I can't take much heat.
Yeah. Well, there is some lingo that I personally know from around here, but other people may not. Can you tell us what breaking the barrier means?
Breaking the barrier is when you break the barrier that's in front of your horse before the neck rope breaks off of the calf.
Okay.
So if you do that, that means that you're adding 10 seconds to your time. That's what I did last weekend. I would have won a good chunk of money, but I broke the barrier.
Okay. So in it adds the 10 seconds on, just like if you knock over a barrel. Is it still 5?
Yes.
Okay, per barrel, right? Yep. Okay, clover leaf.
That's the pattern of the barrels. When people explain like how you go around them, that's like the pattern you do. If you run it and you look down at it, that makes a clover leaf pattern.
Right, okay, the cowboy or cowgirl, I added that in, cowboy nod.
Like in the box?
Yeah, in the box, yeah.
That's the sign to let the calf out of the chute, the sign to open it. I just got thinking about this the other day. We were at practice, and I was asking everybody, which way do you nod? Do you guys nod up or do you nod down?
Really?
And everybody was like, you're supposed to nod down so you can go with the calf. But I'm like, I have nodded up my entire life. I nod up and then drop.
I think when I have said hello, like with my head, I go up. Like, hey. It's like, hello. But to do, anything in shoot-wise, it'd be...
Oh, no. You're talking about, like, what up in someone.
No. I'm saying the nods of what I think of it. When I say the cowboy nod, I know when you're in the box, how do you, nod to say, let's go, get me out, or look, I'm ready. But
I saw someone last year. I can't remember what rodeo it was at, but he didn't nod his head. I can't remember who it is. He's probably going to watch this and be like, that was me. He'd go,
if it's you, please say something below in the comments.
He'd be like, let's roll. But every time, it was every round.
Oh,
He'd go,
says,
let's roll.
I think it was Lane Frost that said, he was bull rider.
Yeah.
He'd say, let's go, boys, let's go.
Yep.
Let's
Well,
go,
bull rider will start screaming.
but shaking the head. Pushing that hat down real tight.
Yeah.
Let's go, boys, let's go. Well, back then they wear helmets now, but
good
cowboy hats is what, they used to just blows my mind.
Yeah.
A flank strap.
That's the strap that goes around the flank on the bucking horses and on the bulls. That's what makes them buck.
Yes, not the balls.
Not the balls.
I'm sorry, I raised 3 sons, and I said my daughter, I had to go. She was a 3rd grader, and I had to go tell her teacher I apologized that Lily said, I hit him in the balls, because I'm like, she hears the word balls every day. I know that's a side note, but I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
We say balls. Who cares?
You got to understand where it's coming from, though.
Okay, a header and a heeler.
Yeah, so the header and the team roping will be on, if you're looking at the chute, and they're on the right side, they'll come out there and they'll rope the horns on the steer, dally off on their horse, go left.
What's dolly?
Dally means you take your rope and you dally it around your saddle horn, and you drag your steer to the left, and then the heeler will come up behind them and hopefully rope 2 feet. And if you rope 1 foot, you get a penalty.
And what is the penalty on that? Because I don't even know.
5, I think.
Is it 5? Okay. What is the expression yeehaw? Yeehaw.
It's just, I don't know. It's just,
excitement.
Yeah, it's just,
yeah.
You're just cowboying. It's just the cowboy excitement.
Do you guys still say yeehaw?
We do a lot of yee.
Yee.
We do a lot of yee.
Okay.
And we do a lot of, like, the Indian war cries. That's all we do at school.
So what's the Indian war cry?
If I were to do it, it'd be really loud.
Okay, do it. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
This might take me a second. If it's bad the first time, we're going to
Okay, do it. Do it. Hey, I like that. That's cool, though. My husband's Native American. I love all that. We're going to a powwow in the morning, so I love all that. Yeah. These are some. Oh, here we go. He's all hat, no cattle.
You can wear the hat, but can't do anything when it comes to the cattle or nothing related to it.
Like all time.
Anyone can go out and buy a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Look the part.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Elva said on her podcast, that, rodeo people and people that are in the industry can look and know.
Yep.
You don't got to look and be like, do you rodeo? Do you not rodeo? You look and know.
Yeah. You just get it.
Yeah.
Okay. These meanings. The only thing crazier than a barrel racer is her horse. What's that mean?
Barrel horses are crazy.
Yeah.
But then again, everybody says barrel horses are crazy, but then they see goat horses, and goat horses are crazy. Goat horses are nuts. Because all the goat horses have to do is just dead run straight. You don't got to have a brain in there.
Yeah.
You just got to get them to the gate. We'll just get them running.
It's as addictive as caffeine, but much more expensive.
Yes. It explains itself.
Yeah.
This lifestyle is so expensive.
Ride it like you stole it.
Ride them like you stole them. I mean, no matter, you got to jump ride a lot of horses sometimes. Even, you can ride your own horse like you stole it, which, you're supposed to go out there and be aggressive and do whatever it takes to, win or be aggressive in the rope and rope your calf. But I've had to jump on I've jumped on one of my friend's head horses last year and ran her in the barrels, and he always told me, run them like you stole them.
Yeah.
And I had to, because you wouldn't get past the barrels if you didn't.
What is your fastest time on barrels?
That's another thing. It switches up so much with the change of pattern.
Okay.
But on a standard size, I think it's actually my calf horse that has got my PR for me. It was 17 by 4. Mm-hmm. 4.
Oh, social media will correct you. If you
whatever it
go
is.
Look it up.
They can go find it.
I wasn't trying to set you up on that. I want to ask you some rapid questions real quick, okay? And you got like 5 seconds to answer them, okay? So think on your feet, but I'm going to ask you these. Okay. Something you used to be embarrassed about, but you could care less now.
I can't think that fast. Can you wait? Let me think of it and then try.
Okay, okay. Your biggest fear?
Failing.
Just failing.
Just failing.
Okay.
At life.
If you could meet anyone in the rodeo circuit, guy or girl, who would it be?
I've met a lot of them. And I've been around a lot of them. When you're in the world, the rodeo world's big, but ain't like super huge.
So who have you met that you were really like, oh, I'm so glad I got to meet them. I wanted to meet them. Like,
I don't know. When I met Fallon Taylor and I was a lot younger, that was the biggest deal to me. I was a big Fallon Taylor fan.
yeah.
Big Fallon Taylor fan. I don't know. They're all super great. And when you meet them, they're just your competition. Yeah. You're just rodeoing with them. And yes, they're still celebrities and they're still big and great, but they're all humble. They're all chill.
Country people. That's why I like the Western community, because they're just country folks.
And like all my friends, a lot of my friends these days, their parents have made the NFR so and so many times, and their uncle did this, and oh, my brother made the NFR this year. Like you're just all around. Even a handful of my friends made it this year. And
yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm still in college.
So do you want to? I'm going off of my quick rapid. Or do you want to end up there someday?
That's the plan, but that's got to financially be able to back it up.
Right.
That's the biggest part.
Yeah. The money behind all that. Tell me the craziest thing you've ever been sent in your DMs. Something you can think of that you were sent in your DMs.
I've seen some really disgusting stuff. I've gotten some weird stuff. I'm sure everybody has gotten weird stuff in their DMs, but I've gotten pictures of me. Like, I walked into a gas station one time and someone took a picture of me from, like, my back. They were behind me and they sent it to me on Instagram. That freaked me out a little bit because I was like, oh, I didn't know anyone in there knew me. No one looked at me weird. Sometimes you can walk in places and know when someone knows you, I never felt like that.
To the and to get a picture of yourself.
Yeah. I was like, okay. And just a lot of weird, inappropriate things that get sent.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird things that go on.
I know. I always said, why would a female, and I'm saying this for all females right now, why do females want a dick pic?
We don't.
Absolutely not. Nobody wants to see that.
No.
We want, like, show me your heart. Like, forget that crap. I mean, that's
blows my mind
later if I want to have something. But really?
I know.
Like, stop with the DPs, okay? Have you sent a DM to a crush?
Oh, I'm the queen of DMing people.
Really?
Yeah, honestly. I am not afraid to make the first move.
So what is your go-to move? Like, what do you say?
I'm gonna get caught. I send the same thing to everybody. Okay. Any guy I'm gonna DM after this is gonna be
like, oh, you get a tip. You say that to everybody.
I get on there and I go into their DMs and it sounds so dumb, but it works so well. You just gotta say cowboy. That is all you got. You just got to drop the word cowboy, and then they'll respond back and be like, oh, hey, cowgirl. It's worked. It hasn't quit working for me. Everyone thinks I'm dumb for doing it, but I'm like, even if they don't rodeo, they'll still respond back and be like, oh, hey, cowgirl.
Or like, question mark, what?
Yeah.
What celebrity have you been told you look like?
Miley Cyrus.
Really?
Now that my hair's dark, I look like Miley Cyrus. When I had blonde hair,
I can kind of see that.
Yeah, I don't see it at all. But when I had blonde hair, everyone was calling me Hannah Montana all the time.
You definitely look different with the dark. I mean, you are like, not like you're a whole different person, but man, there's a difference.
It is definitely a difference.
Do you have a celebrity crush?
Jet Lawrence, the dirt biker.
I don't know who that is. I'm gonna have to look it up. Jet Lawrence.
Jet Lawrence.
Okay, Jet Lawrence.
Jet Lawrence, if you're watching this.
What song can you sing all the way through?
What am I?
So what's one of your favorite songs that you know you can just belt out and it's like?
Any Miley Cyrus song, honestly.
Really?
All of her old songs, Taylor Swift old songs. I am a big 2000s music. 2000s rap, 2000s country. Everything I listen to is 2000s. I don't necessarily like the new country that's coming out. I think a lot of the new pop it's not pop. It's just a lot different. 2000s everything. Band Perry. I'm still a big Band Perry fan.
Yeah, I do like
Lady Annabelle.
Yeah. Oh, I do too. Yes. Best piece of advice you wish you could have give your younger self. So right now, your age, who you are now, what would you tell your middle school Chezni or your high school Chezni?
That you can do it, Like, I always had all these dreams of going to college rodeo. I've dreamed about college rodeo ever since I knew college was a thing. And then I found out college rodeo was a thing. I was like, I'm going to go do that. So I got to work my butt off in high school and get scouted and get into a good school and go live my college rodeo dream. And it was always like a dream. But then, like, when I actually did it, I realized that legitimately dreams do come true. You just got to make it. And that was like the first big dream I really had that actually did come true. Mm-hmm. And now I'm here every second. I got to actually sit back and be like, okay, you did this. You, like, praise yourself a little bit. Right. Like, it was not easy getting here. Even when I got there, being able to live the life I do live and not get homesick and freak out and want to go home.
Yeah. Because I think when you're in high school or middle school, you beat yourself up so much mentally and trying to fit in and whatever. And then you do have dreams and things that you want to achieve. And I think it's even hard to share that sometimes with other people.
Yes.
But they have them too, Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Something you've learned from life this year.
The truth always comes out.
Oh, if that ain't the truth.
The truth always comes out. That is a very big thing.
Even if it takes a minute or a while. And I'll say this too, in any respect for anything, in my life on earth here, sometimes you don't have to see it. You just trust God,
Yep.
and it will. It'll always, reveal itself in time.
And obviously, there's always these instances where I have felt relating to social media that I need to step out and I need to either tell my truth or tell someone else's. Tell my truth. I'm not telling someone else's truth.
Right.
But I mean, sometimes I just gotta sit back and be like, truth always comes out. It doesn't matter. Like, people will always think one way of you, and you can't do anything about it.
Right. That's right. And then if you don't take advice or you don't take criticism from people you would never take advice from.
Yes.
I heard that recently, and I've always kind of known that, but hearing that, I was like, that's right.
Yep.
Even more so as you get older, you realize that. But that is such a true statement. Do not take criticism from anyone that personally doesn't even know you.
Yes.
Like, you don't know me. You don't know my heart. You don't know who I am on a daily. You don't know. Go talk to my friends and they'll tell you who I am, kind of thing. Yeah. You don't have to. Is there anything else that Miss Chezni wants to discuss before I wrap it up?
I'd love to talk about how great my coach is.
Okay.
And like the coaching aspect of all of it.
Okay.
And how we actually do have a coach that coaches our team every single day. That was the biggest thing that got me to that school was having someone that doesn't necessarily go out and buy their athletes with scholarships and stuff, because a lot of these monies have way more money than a lot of these schools have way more money than my school has. But in a lot of these schools will go out and buy these athletes and then send them out to practice and be like, okay, good luck, go practice. But our coach is so awesome. He is there every practice. And if he's not at practice, his wife that made the NFR 2 years ago is there helping us rope. And if she's not there, our assistant coach is there. And we've got all these eyes on us all the time helping us to practice. Like today, my coach just texted me and was like, are you alive? Because I left and came here and didn't tell him I was gone. And I'm always joking with him, telling him I'm going to transfer and go to Tarleton. And he's always just getting so mad at me, obviously joking and stuff. But every time I'm over here, I always joke with him. And it's not just an arena coach when it comes to the school that I'm at. He is my life coach, my relationship coach, my truck broke down and I need help coach, Like, he is a great person. And that also relates all back to my social media, because when I did drop it, he was like, you need to focus on you. And I did take those few months, and I still think that's the best thing I've ever, because if I tried to keep doing social media still feeling this judgment, it would have been so bad for both my rodeo aspect and my social media aspect.
Do you feel like sometimes you have to get, when something's bugging you, you have to get to a place of resolve, like within yourself, like, okay, I'm good now. I dealt with that particular thing. Now I can move on. I think that is the best thing you can always do as a young adult, as anybody. But you know, just one day at a time, one problem at a time. And coaches are all across the board. Those people are the nameless heroes.
Yes.
They're always, they're, like you said, just for everything,
Mm-hmm.
like for anything you need. And that's wonderful because a lot of people get paid the big bucks
Mm-hmm.
and they don't put into work like the people that, are kind of the thankless jobs,
Yeah.
nameless.
I mean, I don't even feel like I should be sitting here talking. I feel like my coach should be here sitting and talking when it comes to the school stuff because he's
I
just
would love
dedicated his
that.
whole.
I would love, some coaches to sit down and tell.
I bet he's got some crazy stories.
I bet.
He's gonna deal with all of us 50 hooligans all the time and wondering where.
Yeah, wondering where you're at. Having
Yeah.
to give you a call because you've came and got on the podcast. Where are you, Chezni? So what do you have coming up?
We are done with college rodeos now for the season. We'll start back up in the spring. But honestly, as of right now, I'm just kind of hanging low doing my homework. We'll take finals here in a few weeks. And then I'll pack everything up and I stay in Wickenburg over Christmas break. Wickenburg, Arizona. It's too far to take my horses back home with the blizzards and stuff.
Mhm.
I could get them back home, but it's just not worth the drive and stuff.
Yeah.
So I go to Arizona for the winter and then we'll get to Arizona and then go to Vegas and then stay in Arizona for the rest of the time and just rodeo and jackpot. And that's like the team roping capital of the world in the winter. So it's definitely a good hot spot to be at.
In the winter. So what's it look like weather-wise in the winter?
It's so nice. Last year was really rainy. I stayed last year too, and it was super rainy. Still warm, it was a little rainy. This year's supposed to be a little drier, hopefully.
Yeah.
But it's nice, like sunny and 75 all year,
Wow.
all winter.
That's
just
wonderful.
go hang out by the pool all day. Go enter 5 jackpots a day if you want.
Yeah.
It's a good time there.
Yeah,
Anybody
that's
that needs a
awesome.
place to go in the winter,
Yeah.
go to Wickenburg.
Well, I have one more question for you. Okay, and I know you've had to do this with your horses at least. I ask everybody this. Do a cattle call. How do you call up livestock?
I usually just get to screaming, honestly. I make the most annoying noises.
Hey, go ahead. Show me something. Call up your horse.
I'm thinking if we're going down into the practice pen to get the calves.
Okay.
I kind of just get screaming and just go, let's go.
Okay.
Usually let's go. I pretty much scream let's go like a lot.
Yeah. That's what they know your voice after a while. They'll come running. Sometimes my dad would just shake a feed sack sometimes, but yeah.
My dad used to have some weird word he'd say. I can't even remember what it was because I was so young I could never say it. I can't even remember what it was.
My dad always said, suck, 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 suck.
Yeah, something weird like that. I can't remember what it was. He's going to hate me. He's going to watch this and be like, I taught you nothing.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Yes.
I want you to come back if you will.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm down.
Okay. We'll talk about boys.
Okay.
We'll talk about relationships and other stuff too. But I appreciate you coming.
Thanks for having me.
I love you. I think you're just like the awesome, cool girl. I want you to always know that. Like other people look at you as like, you got it going on. You got it and you can do it. Okay. And I want to give you this. I do have a gift for you. Almost forgot. I painted this a while ago and I went in my studio and found it and it was like, this is for her. That looks like her. And I wrote something on the back. You can read it later, but
thank you.
You're welcome.
Want me to open it or want me to wait?
No, you can wait. You can wait. But
thank you.
I appreciate you being here. And guys, thank you for joining us. And we'll see you again on Cattle Call.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.